What's up, guys? Today we're gonna talk about going through why so many police officers, so many runners, so many obstacle course racers develop mild to severe ankle, knee, and hip injuries. Okay, now if we look at when these usually occur, it's usually early season, or when it comes to police officers, when they start training or when they get back into training for their job. So lots of police officers, lots of units really push running as a necessary skill. I would argue sprinting is a different skill that's more necessary, but I'll digress on that. When it comes to preventing these injuries, it all comes down to your what's called training volume. Now, if we take any of these, police officers, obstacle course racers, anybody, whenever you go from not performing a particular movement to performing lots of volume or lots of repetitions, even if you've done that in the past, when you have this big gap, that's what creates those injuries, when you have this big gap of, we'll say, training volume. So to maybe unpack that a little bit more, if we take somebody who, let's say they're used to running a lot, and then they go through the winter, they spend most of their winter primarily focusing on developing the strength for running, developing the aerobic capacity using rowers or skiers or anything like that. Whenever you stop running or significantly decrease your running, as time goes on, you lose the ability to handle the volume of running that you did before. That's specific to running and only running. Yes, you can and should be developing strength through your hips, through your legs, your hamstrings, your quads, even upper body. But when it comes to running and preventing these injuries, you still need to maintain some sort of training volume in order to prevent injuries or flare-ups, if you will, in the ankles, knees, and hips. So even if you are somebody who's used to running, let's say 10, 20K, and you take an extended period off, talking a month or longer, you need to build back that training volume rather than just jumping straight in. That's usually where I see these injuries pop in. One of my clients the other day said, I used to be able to run 10K, no problem. Now I'm getting back into running again, and 5K is killing me. My ankles are really sore, they're flaring up, and I can't even run. And that's because they go from 10K running to no running, and they develop their fitness in other capacities, and then they try and go back to that 10K running again. Even 5K is a significant increase in volume. If you look at every step in a run, that's one repetition. Compound that by your body weight times however many repetitions or however distance you're traveling. It's a lot of repetitions that increases the volume. So to get around that, what you need to do is, in order to prevent those injuries, is build yourself back into the volume that you previously did, or build yourself into the volume that you need to do for your job if you're a police officer or anything like that. What I mean by that is start small. Small, manageable chunks. You can do that with intervals where you run for a minute, walk for 2 minutes, run for a minute, walk for 2 minutes. And then the next week, or maybe even the next session, you run for a minute, walk for a minute and a half, run for a minute, walk for a minute and a half. You can build that volume that way. You can also pick distances that are manageable. So let's say you're used to running 400 meter increments. You can run, let's say 800 meters. Yes, that's double, but it's still, in terms of 800 meters compared to a 10K, it's a big difference there. And just gradually increase your intervals that way, or your distances that way. So a couple different ways, but what you need to do is early season, or if you're getting back into running from an extended period off, a month or longer, you need to build back that training volume rather than just jumping straight into it. And that's how you're gonna prevent a lot of those ankle, knees, and hip injuries when it comes to running. Okay? If you have any other questions, shoot me a message, a direct message, or you can send me an email, brandon@heroicathletics.com. Otherwise, see you later.